Yeah.
So for this part, I did not bring my computer because I thought this was the group thing.
And mine is
In
not
the slide thing, I don't know. I didn't think I needed the slides yet. I thought we were just consolidating and whatnot,
I just
right?
did get the
Is that
slides.
I'm
correct?
trying to open it up. I can't open it up.
Do we have anybody and nobody online with us? Nobody liked our group? Oh, gee whiz. Well, this is the very unglamorous group. This is the group where everybody's gonna be like trying to suggest to the program.
But I love that the three who were on it went like,
Yeah.
boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom. I was like, go ladies.
Not having none of this nonsense.
I mean,
What's the point?
Right, and I'm like, encourage, we can encourage all we want. Wasn't the original language encouraging?
Exactly, that part,
That's why I was kind of like, who are we,
No.
you know,
Placating.
Yeah, exactly.
we have issues, people are failing, like, come on now.
That part.
Okay. All right, we're on. Hello, world. We're official, right?
we are.
Okay.
Are we unmuted? We are. I got the draft recommendations. Oh, the document open, but we can only comment. We can't edit.
Oh,
And what color are we? Green?
I think we are.
Or-
We are. Yep, green.
Like your scarf, Vanessa.
Thank you. You know, my mother-in-law brought it for me from El Salvador. It's handmade.
Nice.
That's cool.
Beautiful.
I like that. It's like this.
It's nice and soft and
It
warm.
is, it's very cool. But it's handmade.
Nice.
These things my mother-in-law.
Okay. With logistics, I was one of us projecting our computer up there.
I'm not on the Zoom.
Can you join the Zoom
I
and
can.
share your screen? See if it's possible.
And we have no Zoom friend right now, right?
No
Well, it
friends.
doesn't look like it.
I like having Zoom friends and all, but it makes it really hard because I
It
always forget
does.
my Zoom friend.
So do I.
like when even when you were in Zoom, you're like me. Or like poor Tori, every 5 seconds we turn to her, like, Tori, do you have comments?
Recording in progress.
So is this it? Oh, look, somebody else is coming? Oh, Julia's
Making sure you're okay and everybody knows what you're doing.
Right. Trying to do, so Vanessa's gonna join the Zoom so that she can project.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay, and then we are not editing, we are just
consolidating.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I said that wrong. You are editing. It's just that your changes are going to be tracked.
The
Oh,
changes
okay.
are only comments,
Right.
so you can't add it. We can't
You can
edit the
edit.
actual
You
document.
can
Right,
edit.
yeah.
It's just that it's you'll see what edits are made.
Oh, ah. Who am I sharing to? I'm sharing to everyone. Okay, how do
You
I?
need to
Oh, I
join
have to
the
join the breakout
breakout
room. Whoopsies.
So you're in 151.
53.
Is Debbie a public person?
Recording in progress.
Hi, Debbie.
Yeah.
So then pull up the slideshow.
Vanessa? Yes, I fixed it. I'm sorry. I didn't join the breakout room.
Oh, okay.
That was my fault.
Okay.
I fixed it.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
Deb-
I'm not with the public, I'm with the commission.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Debbie. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
We're here.
Good.
If you just. I don't remember what your color is.
Green, yeah.
Okay. So if you just delete a word on the slide just to show.
No, we can only comment. We can't edit.
Oh,
So
okay,
you
that's
have
a
to go
problem.
back. Yeah, go
Yeah,
back
I
and
gotta change
it
that.
to,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, we're just waiting.
Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Oh, my Lord.
See, I wasn't going crazy.
You know what? Oh, what, shoot. Okay, well,
Okay.
which one, so changed,
I'm gonna
okay,
sit with
so,
you, Kathy, because I am constantly
Sure.
looking at the wrong document.
okay. so here
It's
we
like a
go.
bad game of.
So this one is changes to exams. We're actually looking at the CTC supports for.
Okay, where was that document? Is it one of the loose ones or is it back here?
It's in.
It was all loose for me. I didn't get a thingy.
Oh, okay, to the back.
Oh, here it is.
Can I see the front of yours? This is the updates to program standard 5.
We're in 5.
That's on
What page is that?
page 583.
Oh, okay. That's right by it. Oh, yeah, there it goes. Okay. So it goes all. Oh, yeah, we're both right. Okay, so let me go ahead and, oh, yeah, so that's also.
Oh, here it is.
That's on 583, right
Yes.
above it.
It's pretty
Okay.
heavy.
Yeah, these are the.
These are a lot. So let's take a minute to read through them.
Okay.
Do you, in one of the other groups, they had a good idea where they like labeled each of the bullet points, so then when we refer back to them.
Oh, yeah, we know which one we're talking about. So do we want to number them?
Yeah, let's number them.
Just number them straight. 1, 2,
So we are program practices.
and, support,
Okay.
and the one below it.
Man, there's.
Well, what I do?
There's 5 program practices.
Yeah, I got 5 program practices,
Oh.
and then we're doing the updates to program standard 5.
So that was, first one is 6, right?
Yeah, so that one is 6.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I missed one at the top.
15,
I missed one at the top, that's why.
15, okay, thank you.
16.
Okay,
One
turning the
more.
page.
Other
Yes,
page.
thank you, 16.
Love that.
All right, okay, all right, so let's, okay, so we're reading and our goal is to consolidate.
Right,
Yeah, so first, let's first start by just reading through the first 5.
okay.
Those are the-
You should be able to edit now. Oh, you might need to refresh.
Yeah.
Go tell the other group.
That a web.
Yeah, I would say. Oh, are we talking yet? Sure. Oh, okay.
So number two is already a part of things. So programs can provide clear, specific feedback without providing.
But not from any educational partner.
Tell me more.
Not every, well, I guess. Right now. The people who are giving ed GPA feedback are those. In IHEs, right? But
I'm
it
not,
also seems like this is also.
No, I think it's
happening, right?
included, it's already happening, because that was one of the, interim actions where we said that, where they updated us on the types of support that can
Oh,
be
yeah.
provided.
And that
So I
was
think
the
that
one
one's
you
kind of
applauded
covered.
too?
Yeah, yes.
I think that one's
so
covered.
that's
So we
already.
can cross 2 out.
Number 2, so that.
So
we
We'll
put the
say
word
interim
picture.
action.
Yeah, that was an interim action, so. And I feel like honestly, when I read all of these, this is all pretty much captured in number 4.
I did the same thing, look, I got, leaping to 4.
Yeah, I mean, they all kind of are in 4. So
We just
if
kind
we
of.
needed some more clarification to reword it so that people understand it, maybe.
Combine 1 and 4.
I honestly think you can do all of them.
Well, let's
Because
start with 1 and
5
4. Let's start with 1 and 4, and then let's see if we can move 5 into it. If not, keep it 4 and 5. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, I think all of these can be kind of
Combined
combined
into
into 4.
Right.
I really do. Because when it talks about, it says you assume that the TPA will be embedded, which is what we're trying to say. So
Right.
that takes care of 1, right? And then it says you know, through it, okay, let's see, faculty and or instructors responsible for all this coursework, responsible for feedback. That pretty much covers, number 5.
Yeah.
And then also when you talk about faculty and or instructors would collaborate in training and scoring common sets of work, meet and array reliability, so on and so forth, that pretty much kind of encapsulates 3 as well. Because again, we're saying, and you know, I mean, the only extra wording, I guess, is regardless of pass or fail, but honestly, that to me is implied in 4.
And can we wordsmith it in Chat GPT, the
Yeah,
languages for,
Sure.
just to consolidate it or condense it a little bit?
That's what I would say. I would say use Chat GPT to say consolidate these into one.
Yeah, or
You know,
actually,
actually, you don't really need to do
actually,
too much.
you could just copy 4
Yep,
and ask it to work, to consolidate 4 down a little bit, just to
Right.
see, because we want the essence of the ideas that are captured in there, but it's
Right.
very wordy.
yeah, and I think, I think a lot of these recommendations tend to be wordy because we try to capture so much in them.
Right.
But I do think that 1, 3, and 5,
They're all
All in
four.
there,
They're all in.
in
4.
my opinion.
Yeah,
Okay, I've opened up ChatGPT.
okay.
So what, consolidate the content in this recommendation to,
Uh,
Yeah, I mean,
make it more succinct.
yeah, I would tell ChatGPT, consolidate and summarize these recommendations, and you can tell ChatGPT.
Which, can't we ask Juliet to just give us the electronic version of
well, I
this?
have it.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect.
that's
Okay,
what, so what I was thinking initially before you said
Mm.
ChatGPT is just copy all of them into one slide and then we can
Exactly.
wordsmith
That's
it that
perfect.
way, or just
Yeah.
wordsmith it in
I
ChatGPT.
say wordsmith and ChatGPT, work smarter, not harder.
great. That's right.
Well, let's see what AI comes up with and then we can yay or
Yeah,
nay.
yeah,
We can
and we can
wordsmith
wordsmith-
AI.
Or instructed to wordsmith itself. Truly.
You're going down a slippery slide, Kathy. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. ChatGPT, sit in my seat right now.
I mean, it's like a computer. If you're programming it, if we're giving it the thoughts, I mean, it's one thing to tell it to generate something for you, but it's another to say, I have this stuff. I want to say it more clearly. Hey,
How are you? I'm trying to be the fly on the wall. That's like,
you can come on over. You don't have to be far away.
well, I forgot my hearing aids at home, so I kind of can't sit that far back, but I can.
Well, come on in.
Awesome.
Come on
You
in.
can join us.
Oh, yeah.
Read them all.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And then see what it says.
See what it gives you.
All right.
Yeah, because I'm having.
Now, we can tell it to put it in paragraph form, of course, or whatever we want to do to it.
Which I would ask it to put it in paragraph.
We're enabling
It's not
ChatGPT to help us wordsmith.
I'm laughing at you, Vanessa, because we were doing that all last time.
Can you ask it to put it in paragraph form?
Yep. And you can tell it, please give me a 6-sentence paragraph. We were messing around last time and I was doing that with the some of the stuff. I was like, this is crazy.
Well, that's what I did.
It's crazy.
That's what I did. I took the actions and then I put them in and I asked it to consolidate them all and then I sent it to the team.
Yeah.
And oh, wow.
I really like what the handout that
And
they
then I
did.
asked it to develop a process.
Right. That's good. I liked what it did for the comments from the commissioners.
Yeah.
I thought that was fantastic. That was like, I'm like, see, that's the way to go.
Okay,
So the RDITPA, where are
I
they?
can zoom in.
Oh. I don't know. I feel like that's too wordy.
I think so too.
You guys are funny. It doesn't bother me too much, but what you want, I mean, we could all, I don't know.
Because then it gets into the why after, well, that's the first period. Then it says when TPA tasks are embedded in coursework
Oh, that, yeah, well, just take that out.
and just leave the first.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like it should be 2 because it looks like there's the actual testing part and then there's the coursework part. You know what I mean? And that, I think that requires 2 bullet points.
Well,
I think though that the idea behind it was to support and to make sure that it's fully embedded. So for me, so for me, it's all one thing. But I mean, we don't need the when TPA tasks are embedded in coursework fact, we don't need
And then
that.
additionally, all
Okay, well, let me
individuals.
just copy this into a slide and then we'll wordsmith
Yeah.
that one. Or do you want to
We can just
try it one more time? I mean,
you can tell it to do it again, but I would just say, tell it to be more succinct, I guess. Let's see what it comes up with, because we can always do what we want.
I'm very friendly to my inked. I usually put a please. Personal assistant.
It likes that when TPAs are course embedded. I don't think you need to say when TPAs.
I don't
I
like
don't
this
either.
rewrite.
Yeah, I don't like the rewrite either. Go back to the first one.
Yeah.
I'd say we just wordsmith this little puppy up here.
Okay.
Do we need to tell her that that's our final thing, or do we take out the other slides?
Yeah, what I'm thinking is just putting a disclaimer on the other ones and then just say we rewrote the 5 to be into 1. Within these other.
Okay,
And I would take out that when TPA
Yeah.
tasks are embedded.
yeah, that's not necessary.
Additionally,
Exactly.
and then let's read the additionally.
And you don't even need additionally. It should just be individuals, all individuals who support candidates.
And then should it be must for that part?
So, yeah, because I think that was one of the things, is that they wanted to make sure that the people had the proper training. That was from one of the other recommendations.
We're not encouraging, we're telling.
No, we're telling them.
And this is-
It's encouraging.
About these recommendations are designed to align TPA implementation. That's a given, so I
We don't
don't.
need that.
That's a why, and
Yeah,
that's
that's a
not
why.
part
We
of our
don't need that.
justification.
You don't need the justifications on these.
So sorry, I'm
Oh, I'm
trying.
sorry.
Can we,
Closed caption. I can't.
because remember the why was taken out and put it in, can we just like put an asterisk under that last statement and put, please add this to the explanation, you know what I mean?
I don't think
I
we're
don't think we
gonna
know
have
that.
explanation.
Yeah, we're not, we're moved past that. We are now
Okay.
getting into the point where we are very specifically saying, here's our recommendations. Because the
And that-
rationales have already been fleshed out.
Okay. And so that top language.
Yeah.
That covers.
Yeah, all of that.
All of this.
Yes,
is
exactly.
covered in there.
Exactly. So we don't need these recommendations are designed. We
That-
I get rid of
that's-
that.
Just gonna take that.
There we go. Yeah. And even that one part where it says all individuals, what they're trying to get at, of course, is to make sure that everyone is involved in this process and trained. So I guess,
You know, like, since we wrote it up there where it says, should allow all trained educational
yes, there you
partners.
go.
Can we use that same language down there? All, instead of all individual support, put the safe
All
word,
partners.
all trained educational partners.
Yeah, that's better.
know what I
I
mean?
like that better.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, because that makes it more clear.
So all education partners must be familiar with.
Yeah, that works.
I'm sorry.
Huh? What happened?
Can you repeat?
Oh, okay, so let me go up here. It's not touchscreen.
It's not touchscreen, so it's okay.
So you know how we have right here, should trained educational partners, and we already named who they are. So take out all individuals who support, just put all trained educational partners, and then right here,
Must.
and then keep the must. Yeah, all trained education partners must take out including the.
Just take all that out.
Yeah.
Yep.
There, and then
There you go. Perfect. And then you can put that with, put it on yeah,
Tack it onto the.
tack it on. Perfect. Done. Boom.
You ended up following me.
I did not.
Just kidding.
Uh,
Just kidding.
we were wondering, our group has number 36 on yours. It might be 37 now, I'm not sure. Yeah, that one, yes.
Which one is? What number is that for
Uh,
us over here?
although that says interns and that language might need to change and broaden. You go to 37, I just want to make sure. It's 36. So,
36, hold on.
essentially, we have something that's extremely similar.
Yeah.
And it's talking about only mentors, but not all of the above being trained on the TPA. So we're thinking because the duplication across groups, we might dump ours because ours is more narrow and yours is more broad. But we wanted to make sure that you were going forward with that one.
Yeah,
So that
we just did
We
that
did.
one and it's
Yeah,
in.
it's covered.
Thank you.
The only thing that's not in there, which was my suggestion, was having the word orientation to include an orientation is in 36, but not in the one that we rewrote.
Okay, add it back
So
into the
can we
three.
combine?
Combine it.
Orientation and training?
Yeah.
Yes.
Orientation and training?
Yep.
So yeah,
I
that'll cover it.
just, yeah, okay, so wait, sorry, I'm gonna go back to this really fast. Providing both formative and final TPA experiences in coursework and clinical practice. Programs should train educational partners to provide specific constructive feedback without giving answered.
Sure. Should train, yes. Should provide orientation and training.
Yes, there we go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Training to educational partners such as mentors, faculty, and peers to provide specific constructive feedback without giving answers. All candidates must be supported with reflective activities based on feedback they receive, regardless whether they pass or fail the TPA. All trained educational partners must be familiar with the adopted TPA model. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Or all educational partners should be trained to be familiar with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
adopted.
yeah, do that. That works.
Should be trained to be familiar with the adopted TPA model, including its tasks, rubrics, and evidence requirements.
Perfect.
Okay, so then with this one, these recommendations have been
Consolidated.
Consolidated for program practices.
Now, the only thing that I would just say is that somebody might ask, well, what about calibration? And I'm including that in being trained, but you know.
Yeah.
Just include, you know, just, you know, maybe put an asterisk that says includes calibration, you know, because that, to me, that's training.
But that's not feedback.
No, it's not, but it would be part of the training, right? But you know what, leave it out, just leave it out. Let's just leave it as
Right, that
is.
would be for scores.
Leave
not-
that, yeah, leave that out because
Okay.
this was more of a support recommendation,
Right.
not
Yeah.
that other stuff yet.
Right. And so then
Wait, it just disappeared.
I know I cut it so that I can put it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, wait, you just wrote it and it disappeared. Okay.
Well, we don't need it in this one, right? Well, I guess we can title it
Yeah,
consolidated.
yeah, consolidated,
Consolidated all bullet points for
consolidated program
practices.
practices. Yeah, that's really
And
good.
there's a lot of redundancy in the next batch.
Oh, yeah, there are, it's full of it.
Copy it and
Yep.
paste it in there.
Same thing.
And do the same process on that one because there's so many of it that's repetitive.
Yeah.
It really is.
Are we gonna try to do one big bullet point or consolidate? Because there's like
Are
one,
there any that are similar so that we can?
They're all kind of similar.
11, there's 11, like
Yeah.
we're not gonna take 11, make it one big one, are we? I said separate to like 2 or 3.
It depends. Maybe 2 or 3.
I thought
I
that
don't
we
know.
had a recommendation about updating the accreditation
We
standard,
did.
but I don't see it in here anymore.
I don't think it's there. I think it's somewhere else, I think. I don't know. But you know what though? I think what they did is they said update to program standard 5. I think that's how they captured it.
But it's not in here.
But we recommended that we update the standard.
I thought what we said was that, we were recommending that if an institution doesn't meet a certain threshold, that there must be a finding. So like, for example, if I'm undergoing accreditation and only a third of my candidates are passing on the first pass, first attempt, I should have a finding.
That's a different recommendation. But yeah, I don't know where that lives. I don't know if that made the
The cut.
cut. I think what they were trying to get at is to have the standard 5 or have it, revised so that there were these checks and balances to make sure, but I don't think that they didn't say specifically that there would be a finding or some type of stipulation associated with it.
And I think that's part of the problem, is because that doesn't happen as a part of the accreditation process.
See, I think it doesn't happen because there's been no teeth and it has not specifically been spelled out yet.
And whenever I ask, whenever I'm on a review, they say, well, what is the floor? What does the language of the standard
Yeah,
say?
that part,
And so unless we get that in there,
it's,
we're gonna have the same problem.
but see, that's what I'm saying, like in terms of like, well, I guess I gotta read all these to see what's in here, but
I don't see it
include-
in here anywhere, because the only ones that pertain to standards are the one that we're doing right now related to standard 5 and the one that relates to standard 3. Those are the only things, and then there's the CTC work, which I just read, it's not in there either.
it's, again, program standards revised to required use of information.
Say that it was not part of our charge, and that was more under accreditation.
No, they didn't say that, that is part of our charge.
Okay. So I think you should bring it up then.
I will, but don't let me go too long on it. The dead horse, I don't wanna be it.
You're policing the dead horse.
I know, so I can't be a dead horse, right?
Yeah.
I don't see it in
It's
here.
not really, no, it's all about, they're all repetitive and about in terms of you have to gather this information, you have to use this
And I'm
information.
all for that as well.
Right.
I think we need to do something with that one.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
that first bullet point, real quickly, I feel like, isn't that first bullet point already in what we just revised? Am I missing something?
Hmm.
Are you on the 1 through 5 or
She's
the?
on
Number
six.
6.
No, you're right, it is kind of in there. Yeah. 6 is pretty, yeah, we don't need 6.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I seeing anything different? I mean, just
No.
want to make sure we're not.
No,
What
to me,
did
it
you-
seems,
You're gonna copy them all and put them in chat GPT.
I just did, yep.
Okay, so-
And I asked ChatGPT to review, summarize, synthesize, and consolidate into 3 to 4 new recommendations based on the information given.
Mhm.
Oh, let's see what.
Yeah, because 14 is also in here.
Okay, hold on.
So
Let's see.
it gave us 4 recommendations, 1 embedding.
You know what, Ursula?
So
I kind of like what you said. I think honestly, you could almost consolidate this one and say, basically, program standard 5 needs to be updated to use this
Reflect.
information and all that good stuff, and to be, there needs to be an established level.
Because
I mean, because if, like you say, I mean, if 80% of your people are failing, obviously, there should be some kind of a
Right.
stipulation or something.
Right, but as it currently stands, you can pass accreditation without any findings,
Right.
even if 80% of your candidates. are
Correct.
passing.
Yeah, it doesn't impact you.
So I feel like we're dancing around the issues with the embedding. Those are all distracting us from that core issue, which is if you have a high non-passing rate and you're still charging candidates to attend your program.
I guess I would just say that I don't think we're dancing around the issue. I think that, again, we want these things to happen, but yes, we have to have some type of a litmus test. There has to be some type of a, like, what are we saying? Do we say the minimum is what, 90%? I mean, I don't know. Whatever what would that rate look like? That I don't know. Or we should say program standard 5 should do all of this stuff that we're saying it's going to do and establish a rate, establish a level.
But is that talking about accreditation and not so much program standard 5?
But that was one of our
That's what-
charges,
yeah.
was to explore the connection between
Right.
accreditation
Got it.
and the TPA.
Correct.
Okay, I'm pulling up program standard.
Because
5.
again, if it's not in accreditation, we're going to be right back where we started. And that's part of the problem.
So program standard
well.
5 has multiple parts.
Yeah,
The first one is administration. The second is candidate prep and support. The third is assessor qualifications. And then the last is induction.
so
And
this
IDPs.
goes under more of the program
IDPs.
supports, but so I don't know, maybe this goes under program supports, but which standard would that, you know, establishing a level live in, you think? Would that be program improvement?
Or would it live in the common standards?
Yeah, it could. Yeah, it may not live in this one, but it needs to live somewhere.
Are you talking about standard, could it live in standard 4?
Yes, it could.
Well, let me play with that. So
But let me
monitoring,
see.
supporting and assessing candidates during programs of.
Yeah. Progress and
I
performance.
mean, theoretically, we could say.
Yeah, but program.
If,
Oh, here, Juliet's are here.
Juliet, we have a question.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
almost done with, consolidating.
Gosh, really?
Yeah.
That's a rock stars.
I do think standard 4 is good though, Ursula.
But it doesn't set the parameters. So we recalled that there was a recommendation, something about adjusting the accreditation standards to ensure. You remember how when we first met, we looked at that, it was a LPI policy report.
Yeah.
And all these institutions
Yep,
over
yep,
here
yep.
don't have a healthy pass rate, I'll say.
Right.
And so there, we were engaging in discussion about that, and we talked about that we needed to modify the accreditation standards to address that.
Yeah.
And so when we're reading the current accreditation standards, there's no establishment of a floor there.
And I do.
What do you mean of a floor?
So meaning.
A minimum level of passing rate.
Passing rate.
Yeah, there's nothing in the standards that address passing rates.
Right.
Right.
And
And
We're saying
so
there should be.
there should be.
yeah, so I don't know where that would go.
I think 4. I
I think it would
I
fit
think
in
it fits in
4.
4 because we are still talking about supporting the candidates to achieve the credential requirements, right?
The institutions are required to, what is it, monitor.
There it
monitor,
is.
Support and assess their candidates.
Toward meeting
So-
credential requirements.
Obviously, if they don't have a high,
Right.
even a mediocre passing rate, then somebody's not monitoring.
Exactly.
Mastering the TPE, I mean, that first sentence, I guess, could get modified.
Right.
But that's a new idea that we're
It
bringing,
is.
or
Well,
we're revisiting an idea that surfaced and somehow went away.
I suppose.
I love you, Kathy.
I guess I feel like, yeah, well, is it somewhere else though?
I don't think
It's not
I
in
don't
here.
think it is in there.
It's not here anywhere.
And where would it, but it would live in that standard.
And we're
Right.
working on that standard.
Yeah, so I mean, if we add some verbiage, I think.
We're working on standard 5, not
Right.
standard.
Well, could
But
be.
you're also
we could
working on
put
program.
programs, practices and supports,
Mhm.
which this is a part of.
Mhm.
So I think it would be appropriate to put it in this last
Do
recommendation.
you have that LPI graph that we can look at? Because I think that was a good.
Is it in the binder?
You mean
Is
this, the one that had,
No.
which
Yeah.
one?
The
there was a
LPI
graph.
report.
There was a
It's,
graph.
it's the report. Do you have everything in there?
I haven't touched it.
Yep.
Sorry, could you mind?
Please. I think it was our person.
Yeah, it
But
was.
I do think you're right though, Ursula. I do think that because we're talking about program support and that's what that is, I think it could be appropriate for us to add it into this
It's-
particular one.
The actual one, but it's one.
Because again, when they start, but I do think that would be appropriate though.
Don't know why.
Because if it's gonna live somewhere, it's gonna have to live here again in program supports, in meeting credential requirements. And so that's part of what we're working on, even though we're in standard 5 technically, but still.
That's only because,
But also because,
it's only because the recommendations.
Exactly,
Listed in program standard.
exactly.
That's the only.
That's exactly it.
This is it.
Not a scientific process.
And
Yeah.
so it was these institutions where they're like
Right.
60% or lower.
Yeah, so I mean, again, we should probably say establish a minimum passage rate
And even if it were the 60%.
We don't, I don't think we should go that far yet. I think we should let them go that far and determine, or however they're gonna discuss it and figure it
So
out.
we would recommend that they determine.
Yeah, or that they establish a
minimum
minimum,
Passing rate.
yeah. And if
And
programs don't
and can
need
we
it,
refer back to this
You
as
could.
guidance?
yeah, if you want to, yeah. But I would just say that make sure that there is some type of a, because the stipulation is gonna
I
make.
think you should
how the
also
program
write in
address
for
it.
not, I agree with you, Kathy. I think you should let the commission decide on the actual percentage, but I think we could put in parentheses, just so to clarify, please like reference
Reference
this,
this,
but put
yeah.
i.e.
Right.
60% or below
Right.
would
Whatever.
need a blah, 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 just as an example of.
LPI.
A report where you have to follow up in 6
Well, that's what I'm saying with the
months, find out what they're
stipulations.
doing to
Is that
fix it,
not,
you know?
that's not what the new data dashboard and all of that stuff is presented to us this morning, right? That
Well,
would be
that's
separate from-
related.
That's related.
But it's if without this language to say there
Right.
needs to be a floor,
Yeah.
there needs to be a minimum passing rate,
Established, yeah,
then there's no teeth in it.
right, that's correct.
So what should we say as this recommendation?
Recommend, okay, so does that go underneath the word standard for, the standard for the title?
I was just copying and pasting.
Oh,
it.
sorry, I'm
It
just.
looks good, leave it like that. And then underneath there, we'll put it on there and then you can put it in Chat GPT. But I would say something to the effect of the RDI TPA work group recommends that the commission work to establish a minimum passing rate.
You want to add that though to what we already have. I mean, when we're talking about number 5 or consolidating like 6 through whatever the heck it is, 6 through 16. When we talk about consolidating that and talking about the progress, or supporting the candidates to progress, right? And to meet TPs, whatever, and then add that sentence in there. I say add it.
That'll work.
Okay, wait, hold on. The RTA recommends that the CTC work to create a minimum passing rate
For the TPAs.
for the TPA. And didn't you say, and if it is below that, then there needs to be or there should be.
Either a
Well-
stipulation or a finding.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna, the accreditation process in general, if we say that we need to establish a minimum, then they can determine, number one, they can determine the minimum. And I do think it's appropriate for them to also figure out how they want to handle it in terms of stipulations, because again, there could be various reasons why this pass rate is low.
Mhm.
So when they do the stipulations and ask them for the reports, or 6 months or whatever
right.
reports they are, or quarterly reports, then you can, depending upon why that was an issue or figuring, I mean, also, the reports could just be a way of inquiring and trying to figure out why there's an issue.
Right.
Because they may not have a clue.
Right. And they may not.
Yeah. And so this
Obviously-
would drive that. This would drive that.
Do we need to put, for example, or no?
So I changed it just a little bit and said that the CTC adjusts program standard 4 to include a minimum passage rate for the TPA.
As a part of the accreditation process or to be applied to the accreditation process. To be applied through the accreditation process.
Process.
Good job.
And then at the bottom, like kind of like a footnote, put Learning Policy Institute, May 2024. Do we put the title, How Preparation Predicts Teacher Performance Assessment Results? Page 5.
How teacher performance.
How preparation predicts teaching performance assessment results in California.
All right. So.
I know I'm not supposed to talk. Can I say one thing?
Oh, yeah. Help us. It's killing me. Like killing me. I'm saying, not here in this group, but just in general.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want to make sure that I heard you all correctly, because you're talking about two separate things. You're talking about an expectation that at least 60% of the candidates pass the TPA. Well, we're That's not. one way of saying it.
Right, right.
Right.
But we didn't say, that was just what was referenced in the report. We don't know. We're saying that there should be a floor, whether it's 60% or 70, whatever it is.
Percentage is, that
Yeah.
there's a minimum expectation
Right.
of a pass rate. And then you're also saying that if programs don't meet that minimum,
Right.
there will be accreditation consequences.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that second part, the accreditation consequences, where did you say that goes?
So the accreditation consequences goes as a part of that in the same recommendation. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, I'm wondering, I kept hearing standard 4 and standard 5. And as a teacher educator, the way I distinguish those two, standard 4 is really about what I'm doing with the candidates.
Yes.
Standard 5 is really what I'm doing as a program to make sure that the candidates are served
Yes.
well, and that I'm collecting data, and that I'm looking at that data and all of the
Engaged in
rest
the
of that.
continuous
And
improvement.
that's why I'm
Exactly, and
saying,
that
And
if it's
that's,
tied to continuous improvement.
that's why I'm saying we could just
Then
add
that's
that
where
sentence to the other
arguably
ones.
that would
That's
cover.
what I'm
so then it
saying.
would go in 5.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we could just add that to the consolidation of these ones from 5,
Then.
is what I'm saying. We don't have to say, yeah, no, did we update the program standard 5?
Oh, no, we have not.
Yeah, I'm saying when we consolidate this program, these 6
So let's
through
start by
16.
doing that. Let's start by copying these and putting those. in
Exactly, and then we add that sentence,
Okay.
and that's because I think that covers it.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense, because again, this is all saying, collect the data, monitor the data, and to use the data. And so it would make sense to say, let there be some type of a litmus test, I don't, whatever that sentence we came up with,
Yeah. Okay.
is what I'm saying.
I like it. I like it.
So I think that makes sense in the
Yes.
context of what we're trying to do.
It does.
So here's what ChatGPT gave us.
See, that one to me just sounds so repetitive. Didn't we already say that?
And
I think
isn't it
is.
isn't
I
it
think it's-
already embedded?
It
in
is.
this?
Well,
Well,
that
Well,
the
that's
standard
why
doesn't
I
really.
brought up earlier the PSA that got sent
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Because they're
People,
not
they're not
fully
doing it.
embedded, and
They're
it's
not.
not,
Mm-mm.
there's no accountability, there's no
Exactly.
follow through. People can say, yeah, I connected those assignments because they used that checklist
And
or
this whole,
rubric or whatever, and then it's not actually embedded.
and this whole thing is, we don't want to teach to the test.
And
That-
also that.
That attitude. And so with all the supports and with that PSA is really helpful. And again, but we're already saying, embed, right? Is
But
I mean,
I'm looking
is
at
this
one and
recommendation to embed? Or the
well, and I worry
interim,
about the
what you
word
call it?
fully embed, because are we then saying, well, it's then then it's duplicative if it's fully embedded.
okay, well, but see, I guess I'm looking at it a little bit different, Ursula, because I'm thinking, when I think about fully embedded, I'm thinking that, one cycle might be a key assessment in your program. I'm not saying that you would have to do it twice.
I hear that. I hear you.
At least that's my assumption is what I'm thinking about when I say embed.
What I've heard, and I don't know if there's any truth to this, but when I see these numbers, it
Mhm.
makes me suspect that there's some truth in that candidates are told, don't forget to sign up for your TPA.
And that's that. Right. So when we talk about embed, and that means it's not embedded,
Right.
is what I'm saying, is what I'm saying. So when we're talking about embedded, I don't think it's gonna be duplicative, meaning I don't think, when we say embed, it's not like they're gonna take it twice.
I understand that, but I'm just wondering about that fully embedded. Does it need to?
I also am looking at the interim or the
Oh, yeah,
phase.
PSA.
And it already says TPA support embedded in coursework. To support embedding the TPA
So
within
then maybe
coursework.
We don't need that then.
I don't think
We don't
need that.
All right.
We don't need that. We just
The
need to.
coordinator, program faculty collaboratively create a matrix that demonstrates alignment between TP. I don't think we need to spend our time because it's already.
So then
It's
we
already
don't
been
need to
done.
address
So
the
if we
first
go
one.
back to this, we can just say this has become an interim action.
Yep.
Yep.
Is that true for any of the others?
Well,
Can you go back to your other one, Vanessa?
The ChatGPT?
Yeah. The second one, the only thing I noticed that's different is that last sentence. Because the top parts, like we talked about orientation and ongoing professional learning, right? Rubric scoring, it's that, or support must also be differentiated, that's new, to meet the needs of specific pathways, such as modifying MOUs to include release time for intern candidates. That's something different.
but isn't that something that wasn't there a suggestion that was going to be strictly intern programs or interns
We
program
did,
specific?
But we reworded it so that it could be oh, you're right, never mind, you're right. We
So what
did
do
talk
we-
about
What do we
doing a
mean by
separate.
having MOUs for intern
Be-
candidates to be released?
We
Oh,
were trying
yeah.
to make sure that we were recognizing that interns have a very different
yep.
circumstance than other candidates. And so we wanted to make sure that if there was modifications of MOUs that were necessary, it was put in the guidelines so that districts can go back and say, we're gonna give you some release time or whatever it is, so that TPA is prioritized for that intern.
I feel
not
like
an
interns,
afterthought.
I feel like interns have more access to the candidates
But
because
they
they're the
don't have
teacher
more
of record.
time, is the point. They don't have more time to be, yes, they have,
Yeah.
it's more.
And support too.
Right,
It
there's no
just
time
looks
or
like,
support
looks different.
Because.
Man, we've got 98% of our intern candidates passing on the first go around.
Yeah.
Ew.
So that's why I struggle is I'm like, okay, so for somebody who's doing a traditional student teaching route and has all that time and resources, obviously there's reasons why they're struggling to pass because people are not doing the
But I
kind of work
think
of
that
continuous
last
improvement.
sentence is specific so that
Right.
we're
That was the
recognizing the
Exactly.
change and challenge for interns who don't have the same
Same
time mentorship
Right.
because they are a full-time teacher.
Right.
So I think that was one of the things that we wanted to make sure that stays in.
Right, and that's the sentence that hasn't
Yeah.
been, that's not included or in other
In the
recommend.
first one.
Yeah.
Right. I just thought we had a specific recommendation saying that interns have their
So
own
did
set
I
of.
think so. I thought so,
I
but
don't
I think
remember
it
now. Maybe
changed.
it changed.
I think it changed just to be what number 11 is.
Okay.
That it was recognizing the specific needs of the candidate, of the interns, but not,
Is it only through
differentiating.
release days that we're talking?
no,
about?
that was an example. So ChatGPT,
Yes.
it was, well, I guess it's such as modifying. It was an example because we said like that's something that they
Yeah,
need.
because if you have release time or any of those other things, it has to go through the MOU.
Yeah.
So how should we? Or maybe we just keep number 11 as is.
And that was the kind of same thing of the issue with number 12 because it's specific to induction. And I thought that we had a thing where we were, induction needs to have its own.
And that's the other group that's working.
Oh, yeah, see.
Standard 3.
So I would imagine, oh, yeah, that's right. See,
So we striked number 6, right?
yeah,
We striked number 7 we need to talk about. We striked number 8 because that's embedding.
right,
Okay. We strike number 9
right. Same deal.
and then number 10.
Oh, 10 is out too?
Yeah.
Okay, 11 so far we're gonna keep because.
Or we can reword a little bit.
Reword it.
12 pause.
Do we need to do what Ben just did and find another group that's doing IDP and tell them we're striking it so that they
You
can
know
do?
what though? Honestly, though, I think I know why it's still living here, because that's, the IDP is still under the auspices of the program. Because we hand off, we develop the IDP with the candidate and hand it off to the candidate
As they go.
as they go into induction. So the induction,
And
they don't develop the IDP, they just follow it.
Okay.
Right, and I think the intent was that the TPA would be more relevant to their IDP.
Right, and also the intent of that was to make a more standardized approach to it, because right now it's kind of the wild, wild west with how
Yeah.
programs deal with these IDPs.
Okay, so.
So 12 is still good then, positive.
Yeah.
13.
We've gotta continue talking about number 13, which is local scoring. right?
See, don't we have, isn't there a local scoring
Yeah.
group? Yeah, so I say, scratch that sucker, scratch it out.
Where's, no, but shouldn't we go to 13, go to the group like Ben did and say, hey, ours is this one. Is yours gonna be embedded in there?
Or we can look at theirs, but, I mean, yeah.
What room is local scoring in?
Local scoring.
I think it's. I don't know if it's one of those two.
Linda, if you go over there, I
Uh-huh.
think number 13 and
Room 152, room 152.
So next door, yeah.
Okay.
number 13 and 14, that I feel like go together.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I guess, I kind of scratched out 14.
Okay.
But we can still, you want me to go over there and tell them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can take our 13 and 14?
And I'm gonna tell you about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, 15, got it. All right.
And Ursula, in 13, it talks about, could be some language we could use to talk about, the disproportionate pass rates and establish a level, minimum level.
Okay, and then number 15?
Yeah, okay, now this one,
This
this is what we were saying.
Yeah.
Yep, this is what we were saying. Oh, yeah.
I like the way it is.
Oh, yeah. The one we were saying.
Could that?
Oh, and
replace-
16,
16.
actually.
So
both
15 and 16 could be consolidated together,
Okay.
and we add that minimum language thing, and we're done.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me do that. So then, So then going back to, would you say 15 and 16, we can
Yeah.
put those on one line?
Yep. Consolidate those. Make it more succinct, or leave it as is and just add that other sentence, and that could work.
Oh, is there?
Is it bad that I like consolidating and getting rid of these things? I'm
No.
like, there's just way too many. I'm like, and they all say such similar things.
I think I mixed up something. We still have a cost-free thing there. We do have to talk about that one. I don't know.
Which one? Well,
The cost-free one?
oh,
I don't know
where
where
is that? Where's the cost free? Oh, I see it, number 7.
There you go.
That was 7. Oh, but you know what though? That was one of the, didn't we talk about that in interims?
Interim.
Yeah, we talked about that in interim.
So my question about that one for the interim, while I pause this for a second,
Mhm.
it was you take it twice and get a condition code, you get a voucher.
Mhm.
So I take it a third time and get a condition code, and then I get another voucher. And then I can take it a fourth time and then get another condition code
If
and
you
then get
fall-
another
if you fall
voucher.
within a certain range of your scores.
Right, but then, like they were saying earlier, somebody has to get paid for all of those now 4, 5, 6 times that I'm
Let them
resubmitting.
They'll figure that out.
It's already an interim action.
Yeah, it's already interim.
They already,
And
they
again-
already did it, right?
Yeah, and they also kind of eliminated some of the reasons why they would fail by.
Right, okay,
So,
by default, right,
yeah.
right, okay.
My daughter, she's baking cakes. She's got an order she's making for some
Oh.
people. And she texted me panicking. 2 of my cakes are lopsided. I'm scared.
Extra frosting.
Says, I'm scared Dad's gonna get mad at me for using a lot of.
Oh my
eggs."
gosh. Yeah, eggs are
Eggs are expensive now.
expensive. My son didn't eat his eggs for breakfast the other day and I was like, oh my gosh. Do you know? Okay, this is what ChatGPT gave us. Ooh, this is a chunky one.
That's actually not bad.
No, it's not.
We're replacing all of those with
Yeah.
that?
Well,
That's
no,
fine.
it was only 15 and 16.
Oh, okay.
But we crossed out most of them.
We also eliminated.
And can we add that little?
Yep.
And
I think that last one,
Add that
that
little-
last sentence is what.
Right. Oh, yeah, change that last sentence to
the
to what you
CTC
said.
should define.
a set of standardized data.
Not exactly, we want to say a minimum
No.
passing rate.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm gonna make a new one with this. Okay, so then this last sentence, adjust program standard 4 to include a minimum passage
We
rate.
don't need
you don't
that.
just say standard 4.
We don't need
No,
that.
you don't need to say standard 4, just say
We
that.
already embedded it in the other one.
Okay, they're laughing at us. They're like, we're gonna hand you guys some of our bullet points. What is it to say? Juliet said that we can go ahead and move their slides if you want to recolor coordinate it and shift it over to them.
No, I don't think that's,
Oh,
I don't
what
think we need to do that.
Okay.
number is it?
I don't, we
Oh,
called
maybe
13 and
that's
14.
why we got another one.
Number 12, right?
No, it was
What's
13 and 14.
Okay.
That's what we.
I thought we crossed out 14.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did, we did.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, and we were consolidating 15 and 16, and which is what we have up here. And then the only thing we needed to do is put in the CTC should establish a minimum standard
Yep, I
or
put
whatever
that.
it is.
The last one says the CTC should include a minimum passage rate for the TPA to be applied through the accreditation process.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Linda, do you want to read this one? This is what
Okay, hold on.
what ChatGPT gave us for 15 and 16.
I think that's sufficient.
And then we're gonna keep, are we gonna keep 7 and 11? 7 and 11
I don't,
and 12?
I don't know.
12 we just gave away.
7 we don't really need because remember it had the interim thing that's talking about.
Oh, right, I'm
So we
sorry.
need to cross that one out. And then. Yeah, the 11 and 12 were kind of.
I know I'm being just like annoying with the last sentence that we put in there. Can we put in addition, the CTC should include a minimum passage rate? You know what I mean? Just because
Yeah.
we are in additioning it. Okay, all right, I think we're
So
good.
then I'm gonna go through the all of these ones and just put in where it's an interim action or where it's been consolidated.
Okay, good job.
So we've been an interim action.
And how come Talia stopped coming in person?
I don't know.
She
Well,
said
her husband started working
a new job, yeah, and so she has to do
babysitting.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky to have grandma down the street.
You're very lucky, very lucky.
That's it, 5 or 6?
5.
It's 5.
Okay.
Oh, no, this is the,
I assume at 4:30, but I'm just, it's one of those, we don't get to talk, so I'm just gonna sign in. It might as well be a webinar if you don't let you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
It's lecture stuff, you know what I mean? So I just have to sign in and then lower the volume and just let it just run.
sorry, number 11, we're gonna keep as is.
Number 11.
Oh, yeah, 11. That one,
That's the intern.
that's the
packet.
intern ones. I guess we can keep that as is because again,
It doesn't consolidate with the other one.
no,
so-
because it's specific to interns.
Right.
And then what are we doing with 12?
It's the same, with 12. As revised, right, use.
We can also.
I was gonna say leave it, that's
Leave it.
ILP because that doesn't consolidate with the rest of them, so.
Yeah, I would leave that alone.
Okay, well, we might have scratched out 14, but I gave it to the other team, so.
That's
They can,
fine.
they can look at it and they're already doing something very similar, so it's just,
And I say we cross out 13.
I. 13 was
We
the
are,
one,
we kind of,
we gave it to them, I put
we
real.
kind of gave it to them and we consolidated some of it with 15 and 16 into
Yeah,
this thing.
that was good. Moved out.
All right, cool.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Number 14 is recommends program to be included in the requirement. I'm just trying to find where this is.
Which one? Oh,
That's gonna be our recommendation to Juliet. We need numbers or
Yeah.
bullet points.
My dissertation chair would not allow us to use bullets. We had to use numbers. Mhm.
what kind of nonsense is that?
For that very reason,
For that
because
reason.
Because everybody,
Right.
know where you're going.
The only time I use bullet points is because I'm anal when it comes to setting and then subsetting. I'm all, is this the whatever, the umbrella, or is this a sub? Is this, you know what I mean? So I get into like the was it Roman numeral, and then letters, and then lowercase letters, and then numbers. So because I'm annoying like that, I'll use bullet points and then redo it later.
Hmm.
But bullet point is my catch-all, but it's an annoying catch-all. So.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Whoever's sitting next to me is always like, page you're wrong, where is it this by?
because everything that they've given us is in there, right?
Right, but then I don't know how you guys find things so quickly. I'm like, which one is it? One of these ones right here? Is it back here? Is it on the side right here?
Okay, so let me just make sure we've done all our things. I'm gonna go through the slides. So for program practices. Right, we got number 1 is consolidated. Oh, everything in program practices has been consolidated into one, right? And then we can delete this one.
Yes.
Yes.
And then program standard.
Yeah, we're
5.
done,
Yeah.
Yep.
right?
We are.
We
We had the most too, and we had the most.
Did we really?
Yep, we sure did.
Oh, well, I went next door to 152 and they're having a tough time.
Aw.
Well, I think it's just. Maybe ours just kind of ours lended itself to consolidating. It's like the same language repeated in each bullet point, so.
So now we have just 3 recommendations for each.
That's perfect.
I think I'm gonna change it to, okay, there's the. I'm gonna change the background to white. To say, these ones are the ones that we're actually using.
We're done.
Are you really?
Yeah.
No way. Like
Yes.
the other rooms are like, are you kidding me, Julia? I was gonna say 3:30 as the time back in the main room.
Great, we'll have a little break.
Yay.
So we consolidated.
You guys had a lot,
practices,
but there was so much
but there were
overlap.
so many,
I
yeah,
know. I
it
was looking.
Everything was, well, most of it was covered in the interim actions.
True.
So we
Yeah.
just went through and scratched.
Okay.
And then we identified whether or not the recommendation was an interim action. And then I changed the background to the white ones because there was a lot of green, but we're
Yeah.
just gonna skip through those and the white ones are the actual recommendations.
Can you make some notes on that?
Yep.
Because the next piece is gonna be individual. You're not sharing these out.
Okay.
So people are everybody's gonna look at these on their own. So just to clarify,
I'm
this
gonna-
is a keeper, this is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we wrote, consolidated
The
recommendation.
Yeah, that's great. And then what's that, do the greens say?
The green.
This
Those
is
are the original.
consolidated.
Okay,
And so
it
there's,
says become an interaction. Like even if you maybe do a strike through on the text,
Oh, yeah, that's good.
that would help people to see.
That's true.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
On to more important things. Where are we eating today?
I'm gonna try that Mexican place that you.
Oh,
Are you
it
tired
is.
of it yet? or-
Oh, I could totally do it again. Don't you like it?
Okay. It was okay.
Then let's find something good. What do you want?
I don't know. What's good is good. I don't
We
know.
might have to Uber there.
We definitely would have to Uber somewhere, I would suppose. I don't know what's close by. I can't remember. Hmm.
Help it.
I'm open.
That's our game too.
Yes.
I know.
Okay, so I didn't want to bring it up to the whole group because I didn't want to be
You
that
okay?
person.
Attention to detail.
But in the original documents that we received, there was a May meeting on there.
Yes,
that
there was.
There was.
I
They
sent an
said-
email directly to Juliet.
She said that.
She say,
Well,
I didn't want to be the person to be like, well,
No.
actually.
I was that person, but I did it privately.
No, what they said was that it was on the books, but we had the March meeting instead.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
That's what she said.
That's-
It's funny, when I read the agenda item in preparation for the last commission meeting, I said, somebody needs to run this item through Chat GPT. To be consolidated. And so when I walked in, I was like, oh,
Hey, we read your mind.
yeah, that's where I'm going.
And that's what I did when the meeting was over. I went into ChatGPT and I said, consolidate these into, and it did it. And then I said, now give me a process for a group to do this.
Mhm.
And it
Mhm.
You
did
know
that.
what
Saves
came
so much
up from
time.
the last commission meeting that I didn't really reflect on was when we brought up AI and how AI can be used as part of the assessment as well, like talking to AI, getting feedback directly, or using AI to help score, to eliminate human, there was so many other ideas that were brought up that I hadn't really
Yeah.
considered with the AI piece. I was thinking more of like making it easier for us, but really it could be easier for everyone and
Right.
streamline a lot of processes.
It could be easier, and it could be, candidates can engage in more
Mhm.
depth of thought.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Definitely.
that was the piece that I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I hadn't even considered that aspect of it. Yeah, I really appreciated that. We did it. Done.
Oh, it's okay, Vanessa. I did send her an email. She just put, hi, Linda. I think there may have been the possibility of a May meeting in the beginning, but April meeting is now scheduled to be our last. Great.
Good, because my daughter is gonna be EB on the 23rd and I wouldn't have been able to come. She's gonna play.
Oh, no, that's important. Oh, that is.
The main leads.
Oh, nice.
Second, like.
Okay, that is.
I would have been really sad if I couldn't come to this.
Those
and
kinds of things always trump these.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure, for sure. But I was like, I don't want to miss the last one, and yeah.
My daughter was in.
So they got rid of everything and made 4 new ones.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but things just got moved around. Oh, Juliet's still working.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were white
Oh, right.
and now they're green and the other ones have been moved to the bottom. Okay.
So are we looking at these to try to reduce further?
I think we're supposed to look at the feedback,
Mhm.
see if we can embed some of that feedback,
Okay.
or if we want to leave it as is.
Mhm.
Um,
Steakhouse, which is like 6 minutes away from the window. Oh, so we're gonna go to the hotel, drop off our stuff and head over there. So if you wanna come, it's called the Tokyo Steakhouse.
How long are you gonna be out there?
For a while,
you're gonna leave from here and go.
we're gonna leave.
To the hotel.
And then, but we're just gonna jet right over.
Okay.
Because they said if you get there after 7, there's.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
fantastic, thank you.
You're welcome.
And the goal is to get as far as you can.
Yep.
Back in the main room at 4:50. 50.
450. And we're just looking at the feedback and seeing if we want to tweak or change or anything else. And the old ones are down at the bottom.
Yep.
If we want to look back at them.
Yep.
Okay, great. Cool.
Thank
Love
you.
it. These were all the program standard 5. I mean, there's a good like 13 that got taken out, if you look down at the bottom.
Mhm.
So I had a concern on line 20 or slide 28 right now.
Mhm.
We don't have anyone else, it's just us, okay. I was like, I didn't
Was a couple.
want to be rude if someone was sitting up there.
Right, it was viewers, it wasn't, members, but it
Okay.
looks like they were, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned because slide 28 was talking about individualized formative feedback,
Mhm.
and I don't think that was anywhere else. And I think the feedback is what provides formative in nature. Because if you're not getting specific individualized feedback, then you're not. It's not formative. And I'm just worried. I mean, I guess it says constructive feedback.
Say under this thing. That under visibility piece. The
Oh, I do.
recommends adding program.
What page is it on? What is that noise? Are we done?
Air change and it sounded like an airplane was taking off.
Maybe that's what that is. It's just different in this room.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, concern from the CPC staff, the entire TPA process forming and educated doesn't mean it's still. It's not still something that would likely require change to ed code.
The ed code says formative. The ed code doesn't say summative.
Language of recommendation should focus on support only.
Because
This is saying that all these are covered by interim actions. Don't know. Are these all covered by interim actions?
no, I don't think so.
And this is Ben's comment. What part feels important to bring back up?
For me, it's that individualized formative feedback.
Okay, is there one up here that we could add that on?
I want to go back and look at the law. I'm confused. Why we're saying final now. Because that hasn't been our discussion this entire year. Right? We've been talking about it being broken up into smaller chunks. Happening throughout the program. So that feedback can be provided and improved upon.
Oops. Maybe, maybe formative are the pieces along the way. I think final might be a reference to, well,
No, I
What do
think
you-
they're talking about
yeah.
doing it at the end,
final means your final submission, right? Maybe,
right, which. Thought we were doing away with that.
yeah. Well, I don't know, if maybe those aren't maybe final is not the right words for that. Maybe it may formative and final submission of TPA. Cause you could have formative pieces along the way and have like what your last submission dates be.
But the problem is that if it happens at the end of the program, then there is no support left if you fail,
Yeah,
which was what we were trying to avoid.
yeah. I think, well, in some of the other ones, I think they were talking about. Again, breaking it into segments and. Providing feedback along the way. But yeah, I don't know about final TPAs. It's difficult because, Cal and FAST and Ed TPA are all structured so differently.
Well, and then
And
what we're
TPA is-
looking for here would be structured entirely different.
Yeah,
So those are all gonna go away.
yeah,
Something new is gonna be created, right?
yeah.
Based on the orange up at the top.
Yeah. Well, I guess like if they're embedded into coursework in clinical practice, that means that you'll get, maybe we can embed, or maybe we can bring out back that language that says with individualized formative feedback. There.
Yeah. Okay, so. Feel like they've grouped a bunch of things together here. Okay, recommends embedding both formative and final TPA experiences into coursework and clinical practice.
I mean,
Plus provide orientation. And support candidates. With reflective activities based on the feedback they receive.
and everybody needs to know about it. All educational partners should be trained to be familiar.
These are different things.
They are all lumped into one.
I'm gonna mess with some things for a second here. Follow along. Okay, I feel like that second sentence. And the bottom sentence go together. It's about orientation
You could,
and training.
you could make some of these into bullet points. Like, some of the slides that Jason did, he has like this main sentence and then such as blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I don't know what the topic sentence here would be.
Yeah. Here, everything under the sun.
Program practice, right? Okay, so we recommend embedding both formative and final TPI. Still don't agree with that, but okay. TPA experiences into coursework and clinical practice. All candidates must be supported with reflective activities. Well, okay,
you
so
wanna just
I feel
take
like
out-
it's missing a sentence here. Because this is implying that they get feedback. But it's not saying that all candidates will be provided with individualized, right?
Do you
And
want,
that's,
maybe we should just take out final TPA experiences and just say recommends embedding. Just.
Formative.
Just TPA experiences, formative TPA, or, just TPA experiences and then saying like everybody's gonna get individualized formative feedback. So you can just take out formative as well. And both.
okay, so hold on.
Let's take that.
So strike that.
Mhm.
um, And then add back.
All candidates must be supported with and reflective activities and or individualized formative feedback. Feedback based. And just take out based on the feedback. Regardless of whether they pass or fail the TPA. Is that good? There's always a back button. Yes, it's not.
No, let's go back a little bit, because I think these are two different things. Yeah. Okay. Not to overcomplicate it, but I think we should add. I think we should add a second sentence here that says candidates shall be given individualized something else here.
Formative. Formative feedback.
I was thinking
Not formative, okay.
to allow the TPA to be formative in nature. Individualized, specific, I think is the word I was looking for. Targeted,
Contextualized, yeah. So
right?
you're saying that this is based on each individual's contextualized learning journey.
Kind of the point being, you can't grow if you don't know what you need to grow in, right? So step one is that it's embedded. Step two, I'm gonna give you formative feedback. Step three, then you're gonna have to engage in. Or you're gonna need to be provided with activities that help you use that feedback. But I still think this bottom thing over here belongs in a different.
Shall we make another slide to just put it as a different recommendation?
Maybe college or training. But I think this bottom part was in a section I was working on, which was not great. Oh, you know what we could do? There was that other one that talked about asset-based evaluation. I wonder if we can put that in here too.
Well, this is basically just saying that there should be an orientation that helps the teacher understand like what the journey is to do the TPA, and then also like provide information to everybody that's not in a university, like who's working with that teacher candidate,
Yeah.
LEA and coaches
Yeah.
and whatnot. That's why I feel like it kind of deserves its own
slide.
I wonder, is it on any of these too?
It's in other, I think it's in other places.
I mean, there was one that was talking about accountability and looking at data feedback. But that's not really this thing. And there was another one that was. Is it okay for now if we make another slide for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Change background. Color light green.
Oh, thank you. Keep trying to grab it and. Yeah. So this is asking programs to do it. So this is, I think the other one was talking about. Like the testing
Yeah,
organized. I don't know how feasible this is, right? I don't know how I think it's important. I just don't know how feasible it is.
I think there was one in blue that I was just working on. That,
I was in blue, we didn't even get to half of them, so.
no, purple. This is a purple one. Slide 12. There's also like the slide 11 and 12. I was like, slide 12 would be more feasible to do. Collect information about exemplar.
Yes.
Embedding and then
Well,
give it
that's
to
already
everybody.
that's already in the interim action, but
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, so maybe we don't need. This one in green, which one were we looking at, 24?
Well, no, 24 is important because that's
That's
talking
about
about
20.
intern
Oh,
and just
that-
making sure that doesn't get
No,
lost.
number 23, I'm sorry. No, yeah, this is the one that we were working on, number 23 we added, okay.
I don't know what it means by peers.
The other program people who aren't in program, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe educational partners, and we just take
Peers out.
peers out, mentors. Educational partners such as mentors, faculty, and LEA,
Oh,
maybe,
yeah.
to provide specific constructive feedback. I don't know about without giving answers.
So if this is actually training them how to look at the submission and provide feedback. I don't know that that's something we can do for mentors. I think
And-
we can teach them what the TPA is.
Yeah.
We
Well-
need to do that so that they understand
Mhm.
what they, what they need to do.
This also may fall into that whole piece around acceptable support or whatnot.
Which I do think is addressed in the,
It's already addressed. But yeah, maybe, I mean, it might. And.
you know what I think we should do? I think we should
Let's just take
take,
out the specific constructive feedback.
I think
just
we
say-
should do, what about doing just that?
Yeah, did we have an orientation? Or is the word orientation taken out? I think that's important for, is that? Yeah.
Orientation and training. Okay,
Yeah, I
let's do
think
that.
orientation and training is important. Because orientation would go towards, the candidates of saying, this is the process. Maybe we shouldn't say orientation and training. Does it say and or? Would say orientation and or training. Because the training could be just an orientation.
Not the program sponsor, but the program.
Mhm. Yeah. Working with future candidates. Is that overkill?
No.
Because, educational partners can just be within the program. But we wanted to get it to the school site so that the schools know what that is. Because it's difficult, a lot of the coaches. Well, I can't even say a lot. I never took the TPA, so this has been a really informative process of studying the TPA. And just, think it would be beneficial for anybody who works with teacher candidates to understand what it is they're going through.
Well, but also to be able to
I know,
construct an environment that supports their growth and their ability to complete it, right?
right? Yeah, I know about that because they go through the residency and they talk a lot about the different things, and I know this is really well, but.
The TPs are different.
But the TPs are different, and although they are aligned. Ish, I mean, you can,
I think
ish.
someone took a line and
Yeah, I think it just would be better to understand the journey of what teachers are being asked to do. When they're going through their placements.
Mhm. Oh, shit.
Oh, no, time's up, let's go.
Wow. Where can we add? Personnel who support, I'm on slide 27. We're coming, we promise, we're coming.
Oh, I never lost, but yeah, either. I was gonna say 2 minutes.
Okay, great. We brought it. Up now that I like Ben's comment. I don't know that it belongs on slide 27.
Do we want to add a piece about transparency and access?
On the website, but this isn't about the website. Yes, I do want transparency and access, but I don't think.
Is that addressed in a one down in the reds?
I think so, right?
There was one down in the reds that was, that or up in the reds maybe? Where are the reds? There's only 2 reds now. The survey,
Oh, we're down to 2, right?
expert AI, oh, no,
Oh, yeah. The red is now just AI and the survey.
No, what's that piece? I think it's in the blues. Specific loan grants. Local scoring.
All personnel who support candidates. You know what? I don't think we can say that.
Yeah, I think like we could probably take that out. Because. Do we need? Do you need, LEAs and coaches to triangulate data, disaggregated data?
I don't think so. I think we just say programs who support candidates must collaborate in analyzing disaggregated data.
Yeah, I think that also leaves it a little bit more open to what that means, because that that could be.
You
say
could
be a
include-
collaboration. Or
Yeah,
your collaboration could include like, here's what we found.
yeah,
And sharing data.
yeah, I think so. Okay, I feel better about that one.
Nice.
The induction one's fine, I think.
The 126.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure we're actually allowed to tell the induction program what to do.
Hmm.
But I think it can stand there for now.
Yeah, this looks good.
Okay, well, it's better-ish.
Better-ish. Yeah. There was a lot in this one, I remember. Good.
Well, there were a ton, and I'm worried that we're missing. Well, I'm gonna look more at it tonight. What I haven't done is looked at all the deleted slides, and that's what I'm curious to do. Ready?
Yeah,
Back.
and that state that sounds amazing. Unfortunately, I signed up for a book club tonight.
Oh, well, that sounds fun too.
Yeah, well, it's
That sounds great.
So it's a book by a professor at San Francisco State University. Dr. Zavala wrote a book called Cultivating Mathematical Arts.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all about